I saw her through my bedroom window. After 10 years, there she was, unloading boxes from a moving truck. Next door. My heart stopped, not out of joy, out of something I couldn't name yet. I never thought I'd see Maya Rodriguez again. High school ended a decade ago. I thought that chapter closed. The rivalry, the competition, the hatred that wasn't really hatred, but something more complicated. Something that kept me awake at night back then. Something that made every achievement feel hollow if she achieved it too. And now, she was my neighbor. I'm 32 years old. I work as an architect at a mid-sized firm downtown. I'm not special, not remarkable, just someone who works hard and goes home to an empty apartment. Well, a house now. I bought this place 6 months ago. A small 2-story in a quiet neighborhood. My first real investment. My first step toward building something permanent. I thought I'd find peace here. Then Maya showed up. I watched her carry a box marked kitchen up the front steps. She looked different. Her hair was shorter. She wore jeans and a simple white t-shirt, no makeup. She looked tired, but she still moved with that same confidence that used to drive me insane in high school. She was valedictorian. I was salutatorian. .03 GPA difference. She got the scholarship to Stanford. I got my second choice. She won every debate. I came close every single time. We never spoke unless we had to, and when we did, it was cold, professional, laced with subtle competition. I hated her, or I thought I did. Now I'm not so sure what that feeling was. I stepped back from the window before she could see me. My hands were shaking. I don't know why. It's been 10 years. We're adults now. That rivalry was childish, meaningless, but my chest felt tight. I spent the rest of that Saturday avoiding my windows. I stayed in my home office. I worked on a residential project proposal. I tried to focus, but every sound from next door pulled my attention. The slam of a car door, voices, furniture scraping across floors. She wasn't alone. I heard a man's voice, deep, laughing. Of course she wasn't alone. By evening, I convinced myself I was overreacting. So what if Maya moved next door? We'd probably never even talk. We'd nod politely if we saw each other, exchange pleasantries, stay out of each other's way. I could handle that. Sunday morning, I went for my usual run. I left at 6:30. The neighborhood was quiet. I stretched on my front porch, then started down the sidewalk. I made it 3 houses down before I saw her. She was running toward me from the opposite direction. She wore black leggings and a gray tank top. Her hair was pulled back in a ponytail. She had earbuds in. She didn't see me at first. I thought about crossing the street, avoiding the interaction entirely, but that felt cowardly. So I kept running. She looked up. Our eyes met. I saw the recognition hit her. Her pace faltered for half a step. Then she recovered. Her expression went neutral. We passed each other without a word. I don't know what I expected. Maybe a hello, maybe acknowledgement, maybe nothing. But the silence felt deliberate, pointed. I finished my run angry. I don't know why. She didn't owe me anything. I didn't owe her anything. But the silence bothered me. That week, I saw her 4 more times. Tuesday morning, she was getting her mail when I left for work. Wednesday evening, she was watering the small flower bed by her porch. Thursday, I heard her voice through the shared wall between our houses. She was on the phone, laughing. I tried not to listen. Friday night, I was grilling on my back deck when I heard her back door open. I glanced over. Our yards weren't fenced, just a low hedge that barely counted as a boundary. She stepped onto her deck with a glass of wine. She saw me immediately. For a moment, neither of us moved. Then she raised her glass slightly, a silent acknowledgement. I nodded back. She sat down on her deck chair and looked up at the sky. I turned my attention back to the grill, but I felt hyper-aware of her presence, 20 feet away, close enough to talk to if either of us wanted.
Neither of us did. I ate my dinner inside. 2 weeks passed like that. Polite distance, occasional eye contact, no words. Then it rained. It was a Tuesday night. I was working late in my home office when I heard the storm roll in. Thunder, heavy rain, the kind that comes down in sheets. Around 9, my doorbell rang. I wasn't expecting anyone. I went downstairs and opened the door. Maya stood on my porch. She was soaked. Her hair was plastered to her face. She held a small cardboard box against her chest. "I'm sorry to bother you," she said. Her voice was exactly I remembered. Clear, controlled. "My ceiling is leaking, right over my electrical panel. I can't turn off the water main. I don't know where it is. I thought maybe you'd—" "Yeah," I said. "Come in." She hesitated. "You're soaking wet," I said. "Come in. I'll grab some tools." She stepped inside. Water dripped from her clothes onto my hardwood floor. She looked uncomfortable, out of place. "The water main is probably in your basement," I said. "I'll come take a look." "You don't have to. It's fine." I grabbed a flashlight and a wrench from my garage. We walked through the rain to her house. She led me inside. The layout was identical to mine. Same floor plan, same bones. But her space felt different, warmer. She had art on the walls, plants on the windowsills. It felt lived in already. We went down to her basement. I found the water main quickly. I shut it off. Then we went back upstairs to assess the damage. The leak was in her kitchen. Water dripped steadily from the ceiling onto the floor. She'd put down towels, but they were soaked through. "You'll need a roofer, and probably a ceiling repair." "Great." She sounded tired, defeated. "I can give you the number for the guy who did my roof last year. He's good, fair prices." "Thank you." We stood there in her kitchen, both of us dripping. The silence stretched out. "I'm sorry about high school," she said suddenly. I looked at her. "What?" "I was ruthless. I know I was. I made
We stood there for another moment. Then I cleared my throat. "I should go. You should probably call your landlord." Or, wait, did you buy this place?" "Yeah, 2 months ago." "Me too, 6 months ago. So we're both homeowners now." She said it like it was absurd. Maybe it was. Guess so. I turned to leave. She walked me to the door. "Thank you," she said, "for helping." "No problem." I walked back to my house through the rain. When I got inside, I stood in my kitchen for a long time, just thinking. She apologized. I never expected that. The next morning, I found a coffee and a box of donuts on my front porch. A note was attached. "Thank you again, M." I brought them inside. I ate a donut. It was from the good bakery downtown, the one that's always sold out by 9 a.m. She remembered I liked Boston cream. Wait, how did she remember that? That weekend, I texted her the roofer's contact information. She'd slipped her number under my door with another thank you note. I saved it in my phone. She responded within minutes. "Got it. Thanks so much." Then, a minute later, "I'm having some people over Saturday night. Just a small thing. You're welcome to come if you want. No pressure." I stared at the message. A party at Maya's house. Every instinct told me to decline, to keep the distance, to not complicate things. But I typed, "What time?" Her response, 7, casual, just drinks and snacks." I showed up at 7:15. I brought wine. The house was full of people I didn't know. Music played softly. Everyone seemed relaxed, happy. Maya answered the door. She wore a simple black dress. She looked beautiful. I pushed that thought away immediately. "You came," she said. She sounded genuinely pleased. "Yeah. Come in. I'll introduce you around." She introduced me as her neighbor. People were friendly, normal. I talked to a guy named James who worked in marketing, a woman named Sarah who taught high school English, a couple named Tom and Lisa who'd just gotten engaged. No one mentioned Stanford. No one mentioned rivalry. No one knew about our past. It was strange, liberating.
I found myself relaxing. I had 2 glasses of wine. I laughed at someone's joke. I felt present in a way I hadn't in months. Around 9, I found Maya alone in her kitchen. She was refilling a chip bowl. "This is nice. Good group." "Thanks. Most of them are from work. A few are old friends." "You work downtown?" "Yeah, marketing firm. I'm a senior strategist." "That fits." She raised an eyebrow. "How so?" "You always had a way of reading people, knowing what they wanted, what would motivate them." She considered that. "Maybe. Or maybe I just learned to pretend I knew." "Isn't that the same thing?" "Maybe." Someone called her name from the living room. She excused herself. I stayed in the kitchen for a minute, just breathing. This was dangerous. This ease, this comfort. I left around 10. Maya walked me to the door. "Thanks for coming," she said. "Thanks for inviting me. We should do this again. Maybe just us. Coffee or something." My heart did something stupid. "Yeah, sure. That sounds good." We met for coffee the following Wednesday, a small cafe halfway between our houses in downtown. She was already there when I arrived. She'd ordered for herself but waited for me before claiming a table. We sat by the window. "So," she said, 10 years. What's your story?" I told her. College at Northwestern, a decent architecture program. Graduated during the recession, struggled to find work, took a job at a small firm, worked my way up, got my license, moved to a better firm, bought a house. Standard stuff. "Relationships?" she asked. "A few, nothing that stuck." "Same. What about the guy who helped you move in?" She blinked. "What guy?" I heard a man's voice that first day. "Oh, that was my brother Danny. He lives across town." "Your brother?" "Yeah," she smiled. "Did you think—" "I didn't think anything." She looked amused. "Okay." We talked for 2 hours. We covered college, jobs, failed relationships, our families. She told me her parents divorced 5 years ago. I told her about my sister's wedding last summer. We talked about the neighborhood, about our houses, about the stress of home ownership. We didn't talk about high school. Not yet. As we walked back toward our street, she said, "I'm glad you moved here." "Me too." "I mean it. I know it's weird, given everything, but I'm glad." I looked at her. She looked sincere, open. "I'm glad too," I said. We fell into a routine after that. Coffee twice a week, sometimes dinner. We'd sit on her back deck or mine. We'd drink wine and talk about work, about life, about the small things that fill up our days. It felt easy. Too easy. One night, about 6 weeks after she moved in, we were on my deck. It was late September. The air was cool. She wore a sweater. We'd finished a bottle of wine. We were both a little drunk. "Can I ask you something?" she asked. "Sure." "Did you hate me back then?" I thought about it. Really thought about it. "No," I said finally. "I don't think I did." "Then what was it?" "I don't know. You made me feel inadequate. Like no matter what I did, it wasn't enough. You were always one step ahead." "You made me feel the same way." I looked at her. "Seriously?" "Yes, God, yes. You were so naturally talented. Everything came easy to you. I had to work twice as hard to keep up." "That's not true." "It is. You don't see it, but you have this way of understanding things instantly. I had to study for hours. You just get it." I didn't know what to say to that. "I envied you," she said quietly. "I envied how effortless everything seemed to you." "It wasn't effortless." "I know that now, but back then, I couldn't see past my own insecurity." We sat in silence. The night air felt heavy. "I think I was a little obsessed with you back then," she said. "I thought about you constantly, what you were doing, how you were doing."
Like I was a problem to solve. She winced. "That's fair. But also," I paused, "I don't know. There was something else. Something I couldn't name." She set down her wine glass. "What if it wasn't hatred?" "What do you mean?" "What if it was something else? What if we were too young and too competitive to recognize it? My heart was pounding. Maya? I'm attracted to you, she said, flat, direct, the same way she'd deliver a debate point. I have been since high school. I just didn't understand it then. I mistook it for rivalry, for hatred, but it was never that, not really. I couldn't breathe. You don't have to say anything, she continued. I just needed to say it, because I'm tired of pretending. I'm tired of keeping distance. I like spending time with you. I like talking to you, and I'm terrified that I'm going to ruin this by wanting more. I stood up. She looked up at me. I saw fear in her eyes. Vulnerability. I need to go, I said. Her face fell. Okay? I went inside. I closed the door. I leaned against it. My hands were shaking. I'd spent 10 years convinced Maya Rodriguez was my enemy, my rival, the person who made my life harder. But what if she was right? What if it was never hatred? What if it was always something else? I didn't sleep that night. I replayed every interaction from high school, every look, every argument, every moment of tension. I remembered the way my heart would race when I saw her in the hallway, the way I'd feel a strange satisfaction when I beat her at something, but also a hollow disappointment when she wasn't there to compete against. I remembered the day of graduation. She walked across the stage first, valedictorian. I watched her accept her diploma. She looked back at the audience. Our eyes met. She didn't smile. Neither did I. But there was something in that look, something unfinished. I thought I was relieved when high school ended, when I didn't have to see her anymore, when the competition was over. But maybe I was just running from something I didn't want to face. I avoided her for 3 days. I saw her Tuesday morning. She was getting in her car. She saw me. She didn't wave. I felt sick. Thursday night, I heard her crying through the wall, soft, muffled, like she was trying to hide it. I sat on my side of the wall, just listening, hating myself. Friday evening, I knocked on her door. She answered. Her eyes were red. "Can we talk?" I asked. She stepped aside, let me in. We sat in her living room, the same place we'd sat weeks ago, but everything felt different now. "I'm sorry," I said, "for running, for not saying anything." "It's fine." "It's not fine. You were honest, you were brave, and I ran." She looked down at her hands. "I've been thinking about what you said, about high school, about us, about what we were really feeling. And I think you're right. I think it was never hatred. I think it was something else, something I was too immature to understand." She looked up at me. "I'm attracted to you too," I said. "I have been for a long time, maybe always. I just buried it under competition and resentment." Her eyes filled with tears. "But I'm scared," I said. "I'm scared of ruining what we're building. I'm scared of falling into old patterns. I'm scared of not being enough." "You're enough," she said. Her voice broke. "You've always been enough." I moved closer, took her hand. "I don't know how to do this," I said. "I don't know how to stop seeing you as my rival." "Then don't, not yet. Just see me as your neighbor first, your friend. We'll figure out the rest." I nodded. "Okay. Okay." We sat there, holding hands, not saying anything. It felt like a beginning.
"Why do you always have to point out what I'm doing wrong?" I snapped. "I wasn't." "Yes, you were. You can't help yourself. You always have to be better, smarter, right." Her face went cold. "That's not fair." "Isn't it? This is what we do. We compete. We tear each other down." "That's not what I was doing." "Then what were you doing?" "I was trying to help. I was giving feedback, the way partners do." Partners. The word hit me. "Is that what we are?" I asked. "I thought so." "Then maybe this was a mistake." She flinched, like I'd slapped her. "Get out," she said quietly. Maya, get out! I left, went back to my place, slammed the door. I sat in my kitchen, angry, hurt, hating myself. I'd done it again. I'd turned her into my enemy, my rival, instead of my partner. 3 days of silence. 3 days of seeing her car in the driveway and not knocking on her door. On the 4th day, I heard her crying again, through the wall. I couldn't take it. I went to her house, used the spare key she'd given me, found her on the couch. She looked up when I walked in. "I'm sorry," I said. "I was wrong. I was scared, and I lashed out." She didn't say anything. "I'm not used to this," I continued, "being vulnerable, letting someone in, trusting that they won't hurt me. I would never hurt you. I know, but my brain doesn't know that yet. It still sees you as the person who made me feel small, even though that's not who you are, not anymore." She stood up, walked over to me. "I need you to trust me," she said. "I need you to believe that I'm on your side, not against you, with you. I'm trying. Then try harder, because I'm not giving up on us." I'd pulled her into a hug, held her tight. "I don't want to lose you. You won't, not if you let me in." We stood there for a long time, just holding each other. It got easier after that. Not perfect, but easier. We learned to communicate, to check ourselves, to recognize when old patterns were creeping in. I learned that her feedback came from love, from wanting me to succeed. She learned that I needed reassurance, that my confidence was more fragile than it appeared. We grew. 6 months in, we took a trip together, a weekend in the mountains, a small cabin, snow on the ground. We hiked during the day, cooked meals together, sat by the fire at night. On the last night, she said, "I love you." Simple, direct, the way she said everything important. I looked at her, this woman who'd been my rival, my neighbor, my friend, my partner. "I love you too,"